Drinking this album, listen to the brews. I think it would pair well, if only for you, 'cause it's Album ReBrews. It's Album ReBrews.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Album ReBrews, the stickiest music podcast. I am the song Mountjoy off of the album Mountjoy by the artist Mountjoy. Just kidding. My name is Sarah.
Hey guys, check out these dance moves.
Oh my god, you can't see it, but
This
Zach's...
is how a dance with Bigfoot alone in solitude. My name's Zach.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez, I didn't know
I've
you
never
could dance
danced
like
on
that.
the show before.
They say white
That was
people can't dance,
nerve-wracking.
but that was kind of...
I tried.
That was crazy.
That was impressive.
Thanks.
He had to use a lot of space for that dance for those listening in.
I was scared you were going to twist an
I
ankle.
hope Bigfoot likes it. I mean, he's probably a pretty good dancer.
He's watching from across the street.
He's in line outside.
Yeah.
He's light on his feet. We all know that.
Yes.
I Ubered over here in an Astro van. My name is Jack, and I'm from the band Getting Started.
Can you clarify, Jack? I mean, we got two Jacks here.
I'm Jack Scanlon, the
There you
drummer of Getting Started.
Yes, there we go.
Can you actually give full legal name, social security number, maybe your mom's maiden name,
Yeah.
childhood street you grew up on?
Yes.
This is just the intro.
You know, it's crazy. That's the second time someone's asked me this.
Just boilerplate stuff, you know.
Well, wait, wasn't that part of the submission form? I think I sent you all
Yeah, we don't
that
have any ad
information.
revenue. It's all crime.
It was weird. Like the day after I submitted the form, I think all of my cards were declined. I don't know what was going on.
Hey, you're supporting podcasting,
Yeah.
independent
I know.
artists.
And your
yeah.
assets were all transitioned to Dogecoin.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's gonna take off though, Jack. Don't worry. Dogecoin one of these days.
Don't lose hope.
Well, I'm Jack, and my silver lining of a Monday is being here on this podcast. So I really appreciate you letting us come on and talk about one of our favorite albums and also introduce our band.
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
being here. We're very excited about today.
I also realized I criticized Jack Scanlon for not giving his last name. There are two Jacks in the band. I'm Jack Gallo. I'm the singer and rhythm guitarist. My guitar's never actually turned on. I just use it for show.
Right.
Of course.
Obviously. Obviously.
Yeah, we're so stoked to have you. If you're on the internet right now, which you are listening to this podcast, go check out this band, gettingstarted.band on Instagram, and their latest single, Reverberations. And then keep a close ear to the ground for their next single, New. The Time Had Come, coming out December 8th. Anything you guys can tell us about that single and about your music and about how you got started and all the questions at once, only answers.
Yeah. I used to work with a couple guys that just played music. We're like, hey, do you want to get together, like jam at Music Garage just for fun? Ended up going there with a few guys, started vibing with this one guitarist there. His name was Will, and Will happens to be Jack's cousin.
Oh.
So me and Will, he messaged me on the side after that session because we were just kind of vibing together. He was singing, playing guitar. I was playing drums. He's like, hey, me and my cousin Jack have a show at Uncommon Ground. They were going to do an acoustic set. And he's like, we could definitely use a drummer. Would you mind coming on? I'm like, absolutely. I also have a friend that's a bassist that could fill that spot as well. So we got on there. It was the four of us. And then Will actually moved to New York. So then Will's not even in the band anymore.
Oh, no.
He's got his own band out in New York called 9th Street Groove. Check him out.
Yeah.
Shout
Link
out
in
to
description.
Street Groove.
But then we filled in our other friend from high school, Matt Stein, on guitar. So now it's me on drums, Jack Gallo, lead singer, vocalist, same thing, rhythm guitar, and then Matt Stein, lead guitarist, and then Pat Hickey on the bass.
Nice.
We actually all went to high school together.
Wow.
But
Unknowingly, when we got introduced. That's
Yes.
the part that he left out of
Which
this.
high
That's
school?
crazy.
In Illinois?
Yeah, in Illinois. Fenwick High School in Oak Park.
Oh, okay.
So literally, Will.
Big high school sounds like.
Yeah, not really. It's like
No.
1,200
Oh.
kids.
so Jack and Matt are a year older than me and Pat.
Okay.
So me and Pat were friends, and then him and Matt were friends. So our names like all kind of rhyme, and it
Yeah.
keeps throwing me off. Jack, Pat, and Matt.
No randos from Craigslist.
No randos from Craigslist.
That's
Very
not very
Mount Joy.
That's
Not
very
like Mount Joy.
on Mount Joy of you guys.
I
Yeah.
know.
I think one of
High
those-
school, there's the high school connection, and then getting rekindled later on, which we could talk about. But literally, my cousin Will's talking to me about this show. He's like, "Hey, do you want to get a drummer? I know a guy." And how this all started was we would do charity acoustic shows. All the money we would raise from ticket sales would be donated to a charity of our choice. And so I'm like, all right, one, Uncommon Ground's not really a place you bring like a full band to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, if we can rock out, why not rock out? And so he puts us all in a group text, and he's like, "Hey, I'm looping in my cousin Jack here. This is also Jack, and this is Pat." And then Jack Scanlon in the text message goes, "Hey, did you go to Fenwick?"
Oh my God.
And I'm like, immediately like, "Oh no." What, who am I getting introduced to here? Like, what is this, right? You just all of a sudden are thinking back about those awkward years. And he actually went to the same grade school as my cousin. We kind of went
God.
in different crews, and I actually played guitar in a band with Matt Stein, who's our guitarist now, in high school.
Oh my God.
So it's kind of all coming full circle.
Yeah.
And believe a little bit in the fate of things, right? And none of us were playing music together. I think all of us had that itch to get back on stage, and what started as just something to do to raise money for charity started to kind of take a life of its own. And here we are 2 years later with a song on Spotify. So who knows where it'll be 2 years from now? Hopefully,
Yeah.
similar to where Astrovan took Mount Joy.
That would be pretty nice.
Yeah, that would be
actually.
pretty cool.
That would be nice.
Even half of that,
Well, will you guys introduce they read it, but the album and then the drink pairing, and we'll crack them open.
So
you can go first.
yeah, so the album that we chose through the intro of Sarah it's Mount Joy's first LP, Mount Joy, self-titled, and the reason why we chose it's 5-year anniversary, very very recently. So thought it was a very good time for us to circle back on an album that has just been a true joy to be able to experience both over the recording and live for myself these past few years.
Nice little play. I heard you say a true joy in there. Well,
Yeah.
A
nice.
whole mountain of it.
Whole mountain.
Wait, you said puns were encouraged.
Yes.
Encouraged.
Yes.
What if I wasn't trying to do a
Unintentional
pun?
pun.
Even better.
You're not allowed to say pun unintended. You have to say pun intended. Yeah.
Okay. We also
All puns are intentional.
Just take credit.
I'm
Just
also
take
using the
credit.
time now to reserve the right to the band name Unintentional Puns.
There you go.
Ooh, TM.
And
band name I call it.
I don't think we talked about the reason for the pairing. We introduced the pairing and tell us why you picked it.
Yes. So we are big fans of Montucky Cold Snacks. So just in general, it's always just a great name for a beer. Just say, hey, let's just have a couple cold snacks. And I was talking to these guys earlier about how I picked up the beer. And so
That's right.
so my liquor store.
Making it sound like it's much more illegal than just going and making it. How I picked it up.
There's a guy on the
was
corner in a trench coat full of
Yeah,
cold
you don't see
snacks.
these. You don't see these cold snacks in too many places around Chicago.
around these parts.
Oh, so my liquor store that's by my apartment is just a Target, and they don't carry cold snacks. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to go puff this. They didn't have it, so I had to DoorDash 2 cases of Montucky Cold Snacks at like noon today. And for again those people listening in, today is a Monday at noon. So this
24th.
DoorDash driver, when he came up to my door with 24 Montucky Cold Snacks at noon on a Monday,
Nothing else?
I have nothing else. Just
No real snacks.
just 24
cold
beers.
snacks.
And
Just
nobody
24
is in
beers.
his apartment with him either. So
Yeah, he's like scanning my ID, probably under his He's like, phew, man,
Oh, man.
what is this guy doing?
Mondays,
today?
am I right?
This guy's having a rough start to the week. Little did he know that I had a podcast.
These were going to be used for content.
What a fool.
So it's a lager, so probably a lighter beer. Yeah.
we were practicing last week this happened or 2 weeks ago, and sometimes we'll bring some cold snacks to practice. Because of course. And I literally thought when Jack was like, "Oh, I'm bringing some cold snacks," I'm like, "Oh, those are some heavy beers, man." And on the can, you'll see it says 8%. I never took the time to look that was to local causes, so I'm like, "Whoa!" I'm gonna get like one or two of these things. I got places to be tomorrow.
That's hilarious.
I literally
thought it was 8% too.
I know. You're like, "You guys bought how many of these things?"
It's like,
Jesus.
damn, that's a snack.
And then in very
heavy cold
beautiful
snack.
writing, the official, unofficial beer of Montana, but they're brewed in Milwaukee or Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah, brewed and bottled. Whoa. In La Crosse, Wisconsin. Well, that's damn near Minnesota.
Which is
So-
damn near Montana.
So we're
Exactly.
drinking
Right?
for local causes tonight, guys. This is great.
Yes. We got a lot of good content on this can. They've got the
Yeah.
recycling logo that just says "Don't be a jerk."
Man, I'll
next to
drink
it.
any beer with a horse on it. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm just
Isn't
gonna
that
drink
cool,
it.
Ken?
That's
Yeah.
a good barometer of how to measure a beer. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, is there a horse on that thing?
First question: Is there a horse?
All right, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, Zach and I have not had these
Keep
before.
forgetting you
Yeah.
haven't had it. Hope they're still cold. We don't want any warm
Yeah, you
snacks.
can't have a warm cold snack.
And it's just a snack.
It's just a snack.
Delicious.
Yeah.
That's such a snack.
And to think it's 8%.
Stay tuned till the end of this episode.
Wait, did we
you said we
find
could
out what
sleep
it
here, right?
actually is?
I didn't. I was looking, but I,
don't
didn't
think it
see.
is. It's a mystery.
I think
It
it's
is a
like
mystery.
4%.
Yeah, that's what I'd have
Sure.
it as. It's a snack.
Yeah.
It does.
it's whatever you want it to
legally-
be.
It does. Don't they need to tell you what the percentage is, or is that
Is it on the box, maybe?
Not in Wisconsin.
which is why they brew it there?
Yes.
The horse is all you need to know.
That's oh man, that's like this is a good summer beer, I feel like.
Yeah. Ooh, on a boat. This on a boat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This on a horse?
This on a horse.
In Montana?
Or you're riding a horse.
Can you get?
Can you get a horse stroke or get a DUI
Can
on
you
a
get a
horse?
DUI on a horse? Was my question.
They could definitely like arrest you like on a horse cop, right? You could get a DUI from a horse.
Do they have to send the special like cavalry unit if you're
Are you
drinking
saying
and riding a horse?
Drinking and riding.
If you've drank a bunch, yeah, and then you're riding a horse.
I think
That's
you
a
can-
Rui.
I think only if the horse is drunk.
Rui.
It's a Rui. I
don't know.
Riding under the influence.
Rui.
Not only is it Rui,
Jack's had his fair share of Rui's over the years.
it also ruined my life. You know what I'm saying?
Swing.
They like take your horse away.
I'll see you soon, buddy.
They make the horse do like the field test. That would actually be kind of delightful.
Your horse is drunk.
Sir, has your horse been drinking tonight?
Absolute lightweight.
All, what, like 500 pounds of them?
I was going to say, how much would a horse have to drink to get drunk?
Oh, so
Oh my
much.
God, so much. How
Well,
many
maybe not
cold
because they have zero
snacks?
tolerance, right?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, isn't there a certain type of beef that they only feed Foster's beer or something like that? Have you ever heard about this?
Is that true?
You know, there's like Wagyu. It's like they only. I don't know what the
It's
threshold.
like artisanal.
Yeah, but there's some sort of beef in Australia where they'll only give it Foster's beer. I'm pretty sure.
That's wacky.
I'm pretty sure.
I
You
need
know,
it.
There's a lot of information on the internet these days. So you don't really know what's true and what's not. So I'll get back to you guys afterwards. But
why we're the-
I think I've seen that somewhere before.
We're the stickiest music podcast, not the most beef-informed music podcast. Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday we'll have a spin-off.
You guys might just get a case of meat delivered, just a nice cooler box. to your
Like,
guys'
told ya.
apartment. Yeah.
It just smells like hops.
Just meat was raised on Foster's. Not bad.
I was raised on Foster's.
It's true.
So, Sarah, is your game horse related? I kind of hope it is.
You may find out. Not explicitly, but there may be horse elements to it,
I love it.
which is a fun way to introduce something. There may be a horse
May or may
element.
not be horse
It's
element.
like an allergy warning. Like, may contain trace amounts of horses.
You guys aren't allergic to horses, right? I actually don't know. I don't think I've ever been
I've never
tested.
been bit by a horse.
Never been bit by a horse. They're vicious beasts.
I've never been stung by one.
Yeah, definitely not. I did fall off one time.
Oh.
Yeah,
I-
but I landed on my brother, so I was fine.
You landed on your brother?
Was he?
How was your brother doing?
We were like 12. He broke his arm, but I was good.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so today we're talking about the self-titled album by Mountjoy, and I was very inspired by the track Bigfoot because it made me giggle. I think that cryptids are silly, and I also noticed on this album there are a lot of references to weed and smoking it and being stoned. This may be one of our stoniest albums. So I was just thinking about like how weird cryptids are and how like kooky weed names can be, and I've come up with this game called Cryptic Creature or Dank Reefer. I'm gonna say the name of a thing, and Jack, you're gonna tell me if you think it is the name of a weed strain or the name of a cryptid, like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster or Mothman, you know.
Thank you for confirming what a cryptid was, because I was not sure before.
It's like a mythical creature. Like,
yeah,
like a legend,
Yeah.
like a spooky legend.
I knew what it was. Nah,
Yeah.
I had no idea. I'm happy that you said it first.
There's actually like quite a few in the U.S. It's kind of creepy how many there are.
I found a wiki.
Yeah.
So cryptids are also often regional. So if you do correctly guess that something is a cryptid, I'll give you a bonus point if you can tell me where its legend is based in, where it's commonly reported.
And
And
are we talking strictly the United States, or is this global that we're going with cryptids here?
some of these are global.
Okay.
Some of these are global. I will give you that. I'll also give you, how many do I have here? Like 7 or 8? I'll give you 3 phone a Zach lifelines if you want his input.
Not because I know a lot about cryptids or dank weed, but because I know Sarah's mind.
Yes.
I have the home field advantage.
Yes.
Okay.
Does this all sound good? Do you have any questions before we begin?
I'm excited.
I'm ready to roll.
Great. And you're working as a team.
Let's go, Jack.
I was
All
kind
right.
of hoping I was playing against them, but okay.
No.
You're going to need all the brain power you can get.
Jack, you need me.
Okay. Thing number 1 is called White Widow.
That's got to be a weed strain.
That's got to be a weed strain.
You are correct.
Nice.
Do you want to go for a bonus point and guess like indica sativa hybrid for White Widow?
I'm
for it.
gonna
I think this is
go
more
with
up your
sativa.
alley.
I'm gonna go sativa.
It's a hybrid.
Ah.
Anyway, bonus
Damn
points
it,
don't
Jack.
matter. Okay. Number 2. This thing is called Beach Walker.
It sounds kind of scary.
But then, anything. The hard part about this is just anything could be a weed strain.
Mm-hmm.
It's only the second one, but Zach looks eager over there. I think we call him up.
I think as long as we conserve our other 2, let's phone the friend.
Yeah.
Hi guys, it's Zach.
Ring, ring, ring.
If I had to guess, I think Sarah would be eager to get the funny cryptids out. I bet she wouldn't go 2 weed strains without a cryptid. So
I was kind of thinking that too.
yeah, I'm gonna say cryptid.
Can I ask one other question before you
Yeah.
give the answer? Do we get any description of what these cryptids are? After?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You get much
You
more
can't
details.
just say it's a cryptid and then move on.
No. I can't describe the weed strains as much because I couldn't find that level of detail, but the cryptids.
Yeah, we got.
I've got info.
That's where the listeners want.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I kind of want this to be a cryptid because I'm interested to know what a beach walker
And if it isn't, we can circle back about 6 cold snacks from now and make up what that cryptid
There
would
we
be.
go.
I like that.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
If it is a weed strain,
Turn it
what
into-
would it be as a cryptid?
I like that
We'll
a
get some
lot.
fan art, get some real sketches of
Yep.
it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're saying cryptid.
Just take like an
We're going
hour
cryptid.
break and
Final
just
answer.
You are correct.
Let's
Do you
go.
want to go for the bonus point?
Zach.
Where do you think this cryptid is from?
I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna stick
Can I
with
give a
what you're-
region? Can I give like the region
Sure.
of that Great
Yeah.
Britain?
Oh,
I
Great
think
Britain.
if
You're
we
thinking
go-
like UK.
The UK. Thank you.
It is incorrect, but I'll go into detail now.
God damn it.
Also known as a shore laddie, this is the most commonly reported cryptid in Iceland.
Oh,
So it's not in the States.
You gotta be kidding.
You were really close. You were
Yeah.
really close. The beach walker is described as a ram-sized, kind of wolf-ish creature with 4 legs, thick brownish gray fur. It said that barnacles can stick to it. And webbed feet.
I hate that thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Cryptids are nasty.
Oh my god.
They're nasty
Yeah.
little weirdos. Okay, so
Barnacles.
did you get 2 right? Yeah, you got 2 right. Number 3. This thing is called orange eyes.
Sounds like a weed strain. That sounds like some guy grew weed and then smoked it with his buddy and goes, dude, you got some orange eyes over there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go weed strain, final answer.
But it could also be that someone smoked weed and they're like in like the forest, like, dude, look at those orange eyes. Not his friend, but in the trees.
Ooh. And in the dark, like
Yeah, like in the
that's
darkness.
all you saw.
Like you just see like, dude, do you see those orange eyes over there?
Yeah.
That was a last minute pullback from a final ansser.
This is why we're a team, dude.
Yeah.
That's why we're a team.
Usually you're the one that's going fast on the drum kit.
you seem excited. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's.
You think double cryptid?
I'm thinking.
Double cryptid.
Is there a double Jeopardy for this?
And we got back-to-back cryptids. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I think that she wants to say that.
All right.
You're going with cryptids?
See, now we're just trying to read Sarah's mind.
I love it. I love playing mind games.
Cryptid final answer.
Yes.
It's back-to-back cryptids.
Let's go.
Do you want to guess where Orange Eyes is based? Orange Eyes' origin story is.
It's got to be in. I'm sticking with like the forest.
Yeah, like I think it's in the Continental.
You just go Colorado.
Either there, like the Appalachians.
Appalachians.
Ooh. Unfortunately, Orange Eyes' story did not begin in the Appalachian region. Nestled under the Bigfoot humanoid subgenre, so we're talking about like a fuzzy bipedal guy who walks on 2 feet. Orange Eyes is an Ohio-based cryptid with sightings dating back to 1959, where Orange Eyes allegedly attacked 2 teenagers smooching at Lover's Lane. Ooh. So he like hides in the forest, kind of like you were saying.
Oh, geez.
He's a creeper. He's like a creepy orange-eyed
Orange
Bigfoot.
eyes,
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah. But you still got it right that it's a cryptid.
Jeez, I feel like you don't really hear about cryptid like attacks. I feel like they're usually just like sightings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I right about that, or am I just?
I think
I'm
you're.
not. I don't know my cryptids.
Well, I think that's why he's been gone since 1959. Because the other, the cryptid community stepped in and said, "Hey, Orange Eyes, you took it too far."
Right.
You just peek out every now and then. It's like then you attack these people. You
Right.
kidding me, Orange Eyes.
I feel like I would say the same thing, that I had only heard of like sightings and like telltale shit. But I spent a lot of time on this wiki today, so now I'm like, well, there are so many reports of it. But that's me like putting my tinfoil hat on. Thing number 4 is called margalope or margalope. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
I think we go weed strain.
Let's go weed strain.
You are correct. It is a weed strain.
Nice.
Do you want to guess what kind?
Hybrid seems like the easy answer.
It is a hybrid. I feel like there are very few like straight indica or straight sativa. At least I spent a lot of time on Leafly as well. Okay, number 5. This thing is called Rum Runner.
Orange Eyes, like that sounds like when you pulled me back for a second and said, "Hey, let's take a step back and
Right.
think about this." That added up. Do you see Orange Eyes in the forest or something? What is the Rum Runner? What are we scared about? This guy sounds awesome. He's showing up.
going to
He's running
Benny's real
rum
quick.
brews, you know, like-
This guy is wasted.
or he's literally a bootlegger, and he's just a cryptid bootlegger.
That'd be actually really awesome.
That's this guy's not even a cryptid. He's just a person that people know about.
He's just like my buddy from college.
he's outside.
Yeah. People talk about moonshine a lot. They don't talk about the Rum Runner.
Unsung hero.
That's just your DoorDash driver if you order the right thing on noon on Friday or Monday.
Oh, what's up, Rum Runner?
What's up?
I feel like we keep going on riffs, but not answering the question.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll go weed strain.
Weed
final
strain,
answer.
Sure.
you are correct. It is
Nice.
a weed strain.
Nice.
I'll save you the time. It's another hybrid.
That's funny.
There we go.
They get the point for that, though.
Yeah, sure.
Give us the point.
Yeah.
Every
Number
point
six.
is another cold snack.
Number 6 is Thunderbird.
That's got to be a weed strain.
And then once again, when we think
Also a
about
great bar in L.A.
I don't know if this
My friend has a bar in L.A. called Thunderbird. Quick plug.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yum yum. I don't know if this affects your judgment at all. It's all one word. Thunderbird.
there's a lot of cryptids out there,
Mm-hmm.
apparently, but how many of them have wings? How many of them are in the sky?
My mind
being
was going
seen?
to the same spot. I've never heard of a flying cryptid.
Oh.
Mm.
They usually are in
Mothman.
the water, on the beach.
Does Mothman have wings?
Yeah, he's got moth wings.
I love how we're talking about it like we believe in all the other ones. It's like, look, I mean, we got Bigfoot, we got Beachwalker, Orange Eyes. Those
Loch
guys
Ness
are all on the ground.
Right, of course.
Obviously.
You think they're gonna go up in the sky?
You think a cryptid can fly, dude?
Yeah.
You believe in flying cryptids? Get out of here.
You're crazy.
Dude, how many cold snacks have you had?
Somebody check this guy into an asylum because he's obviously off his rocker thinking that cryptids.
So yeah, I'm gonna go weed strain.
Weed strain final answer.
No! The streak has ended.
Oh, so close.
But I'll tell you about Thunderbird. Thunderbird. Well, technically, this is like potentially multiple cryptids. It's like a species.
Of cryptids.
Allegedly. These are very large, like pterodactyl size, bird-like creatures with reported sightings from native tribes all across the United States, but especially down the Pacific coast and in the Great Lakes areas. There was a Thunderbird attack reported in none other than Lawndale, Illinois in 1977, where allegedly a very, very, very big bird with like an 8-foot wingspan and a 4.5-foot body picked up this little boy who was playing outside, and people like freaked out about it, and they were like, "That doesn't look like a bird."
And where's the boy?
His mom like
now a cryptid.
got him.
That's Bigfoot.
That's Orange Eyes, yeah.
Turned into
They're
Bigfoot.
like baby bird feeding him in their nest.
Wow.
So that's Thunderbird.
I don't like Thunderbird either.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. When you get a cryptid in the air, it's like, ooh,
You know what? I don't like this Thunderbird. I'm not a fan.
not my favorite guy. Okay,
If you didn't say that was as recent as what the 70s,
77.
I was gonna say that it could have just been like actual pterodactyls that somehow were still
Yeah.
flying about. But
Yeah.
I don't believe in dinosaurs, so just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Interesting.
Dinosaurs are just cryptids. Dude.
Let's see if you believe in this. Your penultimate, second to last item. This thing is called Highwayman.
I think
See, that's.
we obviously got to use the phone a friend here. Got to
Yeah.
use the phone a friend.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you have 2 left.
I forgot.
There are 2 left.
Let's.
He's in the phone booth.
He's
Just staring.
ring, ring, ring. Psh, Zach can hear us.
Hey, yeah, can I call you back? I got a thing.
Zach sent me to voicemail. All right, do we
It's like that auto text that's like, "Can I call you back in 5?" Like everyone has on there. No, hey guys, I just want to let you know I heard about the Thunderbird thing, and I knew it was a cryptid, and he didn't call me, and that kind of hurt.
Wow.
He didn't call me on my birthday.
Wait, I also forgot. Happy belated, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
I saw it was your birthday like 3 days ago.
That was a bit, but it was my birthday.
You just sent me your number today. You said, "Here's my number. Call me when you get here."
Yeah, the buzzer's
By the
broken.
way, it was my birthday 4 days ago.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
I
tip.
think Highwayman is a cryptid because the little I know about cryptids is that they sometimes are like related to road or like highways because people will like see stuff out of the corner of their eye or in the mirror while they're driving fast, and it like seems more like a cryptid. I think that's one of the things with Mothman. There's a lot of sightings of Mothman are like seen in the car.
Can I say this is also another instance of it being one word?
Highwayman.
Highwayman.
So that's my 2 cents.
If I just said one word and then you just say it fast. It's not Highwayman, it's Highwayman.
Highwayman.
Having man in it just sounds like it's a cryptid.
Yeah, I could definitely hear like, you better get home before the sun gets down, or else the highwayman.
Yeah, that's scary.
Is that your final answer? Cryptid?
Yeah.
Highwayman is a hybrid
Zach,
wheat strain.
Zach, we're blocking your number.
Oh,
we're
man.
blocking your number.
I revoke
guys.
the happy birthday.
Damn it, Zach.
It's
All
just
right.
a birthday.
Get back in the phone booth.
It's tight in here. Move my elbows.
Give us the phone.
We are at our final potential cryptid or weed strain item. This thing, and I want you to really, really, really think about this, is called, and this is 2 words, skunk ape.
Thank you for clarifying that was 2 words, because
Skunk ape.
if it was one, it was skunkape.
Exactly. Exactly.
Jack, so I know that Zach let us down. I think it was.
Well, you gotta
I think
use
it was. I think it
gotta
was
use the
now
resources.
20 seconds ago. Zach let us down. It's still a fresh wound,
Yeah.
but he's in the phone booth. I think we give him a call.
He's also got some salt in his hand from when I revoked his happy birthday, so he might rub salt in that wound. But I'm willing to risk it.
All right, let's give him a quick call. Ring, ring, ring.
Hey guys,
Hey, Zach.
I've got quarters for this thing. Why do I?
We're actually calling toll free
Okay, cool.
into a phone booth.
Because I got laundry to do. I don't know. I'm baffled by this one. I thought I had Sarah figured out, but I don't. I'll never.
Is that a story for right now or for another time?
No, I thought I had her games figured out, but
Then I give you skunk ape.
yeah.
Everything's out the window.
Skunk makes me think weed, but I think like skunk is usually not like a good term to call weed. Like if the weed is skunky, it's not good.
Yeah.
So that makes me think they might.
Whereas a cryptid, if that thing's skunky.
If it's a skunky cryptid, that's a good cryptid, dude.
Yeah, that's a good cryptid. You can smell that thing from a mile away.
I bet cryptids don't
Is that
shower.
a skunk? No, it's definitely a skunk ape.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And she hasn't gave us any cryptids. I finally figured out Sarah's mind. She didn't give us any cryptids from not in the U.S. yet, so this must be a cryptid from like the jungle.
Well, we did get
We had
ice.
one from
Ohio.
Iceland. It was the first
Oh,
cryptid.
Iceland, you're right.
And Ohio's not in the United States.
Yeah, I misheard you. I thought you said not in the U.S.
yeah,
or
yeah.
in the U.S.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I go back to being clueless.
I kind of. I'm on
why
the.
do we call him?
He has such a soothing voice.
I just needed him to calm us down.
I think we go cryptid because nobody that's growing weed is gonna name it skunk. You know, skunk maybe, but
Yeah.
I think skunk.
Skunkape, maybe.
Yes, skunkape. Little accent, a little tilde on it or something like that. Tilde, a little accent mark.
Let's do it.
Funny, it's spelled just like skunk.
P.U. We think it's a cryptid?
Yes.
Let's do it.
You were going to be correct either way, baby. In addition to being an indica weed strain, the
We
skunk
spent so
ape,
long on it.
the skunk ape is a bipedal humanoid, another kind of like Bigfoot, that has allegedly been seen in the southeastern United States, most notably in the Everglades in Florida. It has black fur, glowing red eyes, and a terrible odor.
That's a good cryptid.
Thank you so much
a
for
cryptid.
playing Cryptic Creature or Dank Reefer. I hope you had fun.
I did.
I had so much fun.
Great name for this for the bit.
Love it.
Should we take a second to refill and then get into some tunage?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Gorgeous. All right, folks, we're back with more snacks. the cold kind. And before we get into this album track by track, I wanted to hear from you two kind of what impact this album may have had on you as people who make music, or just kind of how you feel about Mountjoy as an artist, and their musical style, or anything about this album that you want to talk about before we get into it more deeply. Kind of at large.
Yeah. I mentioned at the beginning, one of the reasons why we chose this album was because it's 5 years that they're recognizing since it first came out. For me, this is a band and, to be honest, a specific album that over the past 5 years have been pretty transformative in terms of my own life. And I think we can all think about and identify with music that has been a part of some of the big moments of your life and remind you of the people in your life and the experiences that you've shared with those people. And to be honest, the experiences that I've seen Mountjoy play numerous times with some of the people that I love most dearly. And so for me, when I think about this album, what it started as was, wow, I love this really natural sound. I think like one thing that jumps out to me is you can really hear how Matt Quinn is writing these on an acoustic guitar and how then they're taking those and they're building upon them foundationally with other instruments. And that's how I've always written. And so there's this part jealousy, part just genuine love for what they've created, because how I listen to it is like what I want to emulate in our music in a lot of ways. And that's how it started. I heard a Mountjoy song on the radio, and I was like, oh, that was pretty good. You have those moments and you hear it again. You're like, okay, that's a good song. And then it finally led me to be like, all right, I want to check this band out. And we'll get into specific songs later. But, then I send it. I have, we were talking about my cousin Will earlier. He's one of my best friends. He has a twin brother, and my brother, we're very, very close. And we share music with each other all the time. And this was a band that I sent to them, and we started to really get into them. And then we went and saw them in Chicago. And, my litmus test for great bands, and you can agree with this, is how well do you translate from recording to live? And they translate near perfectly.
Yeah.
And so for me, being able to go and hear the music and then revisit it, it was something where it just started to grow in terms of my sheer appreciation for it, both as a consumer, but also as a writer. And then you start to get into some of the lyrics and the way that he alliterates some of the things that we all, go through and enjoy in our lives. And, it's been 5 years where I've gone from, living with my 3 best friends in Chicago to living with my now wife and, dog, and Mountjoy and this album and sharing that with my cousins and my wife have been a part of that. And so it holds a place near and dear in my heart. And it's only gotten better since then.
Like fine wine.
Like a fine wine.
That's huge. Congrats. How about you, other Jack?
Yeah, I'm now regretting letting Jack go first. Damn it, Jack! That was way too good of a response.
Just like the snare drum hit is good.
I was like, there's some good songs on this album.
It's pretty catchy.
God, that was like a whole life story.
Yeah,
I mean,
beautiful.
God, that was great.
Yeah. We laughed, we cried.
Can I just plead the fifth on this?
Well,
God.
you two came to a consensus, right?
Yeah,
Choosing
like
this album.
album. Yeah.
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 So what was that sort of discussion like? Like what made you want to agree to also talk about this album?
Yeah, so I mean, Mountjoy has this album specifically has been a huge part of my musical influence as well. Like they've been said they're new, the folk rock heroes is what people have called them. And I remember the first song I heard off this album when it was a single was Sheep, and one of my friends was playing it. We were just playing cards one night, and he played this, and I'm like, you need to tell me what song this is right now. The song is incredible. And I just got really into them, got really into this album. And mine was probably a couple years after the album came out, honestly. Like, you were probably right from the beginning, but I didn't find out about them till later. And then I had the opportunity to see them, a very lucky opportunity during COVID, where it was the drive-in concert in Chicago. That was the first time that I saw them. I don't know where that actually was. It was at like Northerly Island, but like Jack was saying, a good test is like how well you can perform from recording to a live set. And Matt Quinn's voice is insane. And like the bands, you can tell how much they rehearse, how much they practice. They sound incredible live, just like the record. And to Jack's point as well, like the lyrics on the song are like, they're all very relatable. Like, it's really cool lyrics. It tells a story like from start to finish. And another reason to answer your question originally about why we decided on it together is, so we've actually covered, I think now 4 Mount Joy songs as a band.
sick.
I'd love to play.
So we've played, I think we've covered Sheep, we've covered Silver Lining, which are both on this album. And then,
others.
yeah, we've covered Lemon Tree, which is on their 3rd album, and then Let Loose, which is on their 2nd album,
Yep.
I think. Yeah.
And
So
I'll just add one other thing, which, I am a firm believer in, which is, things that are meant to be make more and more sense the more time you have with them. Mm-hmm. And I was doing research today, and I knew that Matt Quinn and Sam Cooper knew each other. Mm-hmm. But for us to be doing this album, we just kind of were like, oh yeah, we both love this album. And then I'm researching, and it's like, oh, these 2 guys went to high school. They didn't, they played a little bit. They went their separate ways, and then they came back. Like, that's very similar paths to what we've talked about in terms of how our band was created. And so it's like a reaffirmation of a truth that you already know.
Yeah.
And that's something for me that, like, as I was preparing for today, yes, I prepared.
Yes. Nice.
Like Winston Churchill said, failing to plan is planning to fail. Thanks,
Vince.
Thanks, Winston.
Nice.
But I think like that there's something to be said about that. Like, we kind of identify with the trajectory that they've gone on, and we respect it. And that's only reflected in the way that we're willing to cover them consistently too.
exactly.
There's something really fun about like reading about a band's origin stories, and you're like, oh, that's how I started playing music with my friends, and like it's a very wholesome story most times.
And it makes you feel like it can happen.
Yeah,
Totally. Totally.
Because we're in this world of like, you go on social media and people seem like they're larger than life, and you're living in this mundane world, and they're living in this Instagram worthy fake embellished life, and all of a sudden you realize, like, holy shit, everybody starts from somewhere.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that type of stuff happens to normal people too.
Yeah, they really blew up off their first record.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you guys are amazing, and I'm just a wreck, or I'm your wreck. Track number 1.
Wow, Zachariah.
Swing.
Zoink.
Put that on the scoreboard for me, please.
Ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, should we get into the opener?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's freaking do it. I want to know how you both feel about this. I love asking this question. How do you feel about I'm Your Wreck as the opening track specifically? How do you feel like it is kicking off the album?
Yeah, I can answer that first. I mean, I love this song, and I always love the idea, like, we think about this. I think you can think about an album as you would plan like a set. Like, and I always say to like my fiance at home, whenever an album comes out, you have to listen to it in order. Like, you can't shuffle the album. She always shuffles it. I'm like, no,
That's
you
kinda
got.
chaotic.
I'm like, you got. She's like, why does it matter?
Take that off.
That's
I'm like, we're gonna
unhinged.
take that offline.
Yeah, she'll probably be listening. It's like, why'd you say that? I'm like, you have to do start to finish. You can't just mix it up.
Yeah,
like,
they-
it goes in order for a
The
reason.
band spent like 25 hours deciding
Deciding
the order.
the order of the album. I'm like, this matters. But personally, for I'm Your Wreck, I just love like the slow build of it. Like, it starts off so
like 2 minutes
Yeah,
until-
it starts off so slow, like the piano, and then it just really, like, the guitar when it drops in, like with that guitar, like I think you had the timestamp like 2 minutes in. It is so awesome. Like the lyrics are great, and just the slow build into the album is a great kickoff.
A real deep breath and I burn the letter. This is hey life in the fall. This is hey life.
And there's only like one chorus. It's like a through song.
Yeah, just like a slow build.
Is this the spot you're talking about with the guitar coming in? Or when it gets big?
Yeah.
When it kind of gets big, I'm thinking of like, and as a drummer, I don't know anything about guitar
The
chords
beginning,
and stuff. But I'm like, that sounds pretty good.
it's like the first leading up to that point. It's almost like the prologue of a book where he's coming forward and he's saying, this is who I am. I'm not perfect, but I'm here. And it's in a lot of ways a love song where he's professing like, this is who I am. I recognize I'm not perfect. And then it ends with that build up. And then he goes, come meet me in San Francisco. Right. And it's kind of this calling of like, if this is what you want to be in on, like, I recognize we're both imperfect. And I don't know. And then it kind of turns big. And that to me is just such a cool, unexpected turn for the song.
Yeah.
I was not familiar with this album at all, and I'm so surprised that it's escaped my radar because it
It's
reminds
right up
me,
our alley.
It's right up our fucking alley. I'm like, how did I not know about this like at the time or beyond that? It reminds me so much. This came out in 2018. It reminds me so much of the music I was listening to at the time.
It's very 2010s, like early 2010s. Like it's very Spoon, very Cold War Kids, very Alabama Shakes.
I was
Yes.
thinking
Yep.
like very hippocampus.
Yeah.
Love
Very
Hippocampus.
others. The only one that's coming to mind is Hippocampus, who we also love and we've talked about on this
Yeah.
show.
I love
They also
Hippocampus
dance
so
on the
much.
Head and the Heart line a little
Head and the
bit.
Heart is who I wanted to say.
Yeah, 'cause they've toured with.
Head and the Heart.
They're not touring. They did tour with them.
Yeah, which makes so much sense.
But they don't
yeah,
have a song with the word hey in it, so they're not too close to Head in the Heart.
I think they also
Or the
opened for
Lumineers.
Lumineers.
Yeah, oh, hey.
They do have a whistle in this track. There's a whistle in this album.
But yeah, I was going into this like pretty much totally blind and looking at like the cover art. You see a bunch of kind of kooky, almost like what you would see as stickers on the bottom of a skateboard, like just kind of weird little guys. And I was like, what am I getting into? And then I listened to this first song and I'm like, oh, this is quite lovely.
Yeah.
Like this is actually very pretty. And the lyricism is really beautiful on this song, I think. There are a lot of lines that really resonated about like being very anxious or being down or like not having a great brain time, which we get it.
Yeah.
I've been there. So yeah, I was like very like, hell yeah, let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it sets the tone for the entire album because I feel like a lot of the themes are around like relationships and anxieties, and this basically delves into both of them. So,
Totally.
And both of the ranges of where they're going to take their music, right? It's like
Yeah.
starts slow, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the song, it's like, whoa, how did we get here? You know what I mean? And they kind of show range in a very finite amount of time. That's why I was, once again, the prologue, right? It's kind of like, hey, this is just a short little blip of like what you're going to experience over the next, I don't know how long the actual album is, 40 something minutes, but yeah.
Yeah, it really is almost kind of like a little resume.
Well, I've
Or
heard
a cover
a
letter.
really good metaphor that I like a lot is calling it a runway.
Ooh.
Very lift off.
Oh, I was thinking
Nice.
Runway like RuPaul's Drag Race.
That too, different album, but that could be, yeah.
I'm like, so you have your best dress on and you're going to strut and you're going to give face and you're going to show personality to the judges.
Yeah, you're going to start
And you
slow
have 30
and then you're going to
seconds.
strut. Yeah.
I got you,
And
Zach.
at the end of the song, or at the end of the album is the dead drop, right? Is that
The death drop.
Death
Yes.
drop, yeah. I've seen
Ally.
RuPaul's, yeah. So you've heard of Skinny Love. You've heard of Bleeding Love. You've heard of Endless Love. You've heard of Stupid Love. You've heard of Crazy Stupid Love.
What about Bleeding Love?
You've heard of Bleeding Love, yeah. You've
You've
heard
heard
of Crazy Little Thing Called Love.
Crazy in Love.
Crazy in Love. Drunk Love, Drunk in Love.
Okay. Okay.
But have you guys heard of Dirty Love? Track number 2.
That's just Tuesday.
That's what I think more songs should be Adjective Love because it's just a good song name.
It
It
is.
seems like you're setting yourself up for success.
Yeah.
By doing that.
So many good songs.
It's very likely to be a good song.
And
if
you know,
have
people
adjective
also
love.
just love love. You know?
Yeah.
Everybody loves love.
We love it.
Jack, you taking notes over there? Next song.
Next.
Blank Love.
Blank Love.
Wait, yeah.
Love. All right, there it is.
Blank
Blank Love.
You heard it here.
Wow,
It's
that's
coming
actually
here
kind of good.
somewhere in
New song name, call
2024.
Anyone listening, we call it. Don't write a song called Blank Love.
Write your name on the line, baby.
That
My
Taylor
love is
Swift did
blank.
Taylor.
Oh,
Oh, God damn.
shit! Shit!
Taylor.
Taylor!
But another nice love song. He's very articulate in some of these lovey emotions.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really sweetums. And I liked how stripped back the beginning of this one was after being so big at the end of the last one. You kind of like
that. Yep.
catch a breath for a second.
And he's
Always
bringing-
appreciate that.
I think it's a ukulele.
I was getting ukulele
Yes.
vibes.
I think it's he brings it
Yeah,
out
he
at the
says
show.
it is a ukulele.
It's a ukulele. He brings it out, and I mean, listen, I don't know a lot of ukulele songs. I mean, Somewhere Over the Rainbows, obviously on the
Yeah.
top of that list.
Yeah.
But
Adventure Time theme song.
I think about 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
Way
Oh
back when.
yeah,
That's why my sister bought a ukulele. Not to call her out, but back in like 2014.
There it is.
Oh. And it's like not even like tuned that well. You know what I mean? It just sounds like a ukulele.
It just
Send
sounds
an
like
email
you're
to
at
Matt
camp.
Quinn. Dude, you
Like
know,
it's like honky tonk piano vibes. You know what I mean?
dude, do you realize your ukulele was not tuned under Ava?
Dude, why didn't you use your tuner pedal for your ukulele?
Why are we even reviewing this album? This ukulele's not even tuned.
Amateur hour.
That's great though. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
rule
it's so
number
chill.
one. Rule number one is be in tune.
Not if you want honky tonk ukulele, dude.
That's why it's called Dirty Love. If it was in tune, it wouldn't have
Yeah.
been dirty.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. But yeah, this one also gets very like, I am a flawed person, baby. Like, you can love me, but girl, it's gonna be a time.
Yeah.
Which I like. I like the honesty. I like the sense of vulnerability. I'm just like, yeah, dog, I get it.
And it's a short song too.
It is.
You know,
It is.
It's one that I think, you know, once again, like doing a bit more into how he goes about his writing process. Like one thing that Matt Quinn says he does, he's like, and I never heard of this, but I want to give it a try. He's like, when I start, what's up, kitty cat? When I play music just myself, I literally will just take a phone, put it on record in a voice memo, and I just try and forget it's there.
Oh.
And you can kind of hear it in this type of stuff where he's just got a ukulele, you know what I mean? And he's just thinking like, oh, this sounds cool. And you can kind of just, and once again, getting back to my comments about the whole album, you hear where the music began, right? You hear it began with one guy, one guitar, one ukulele, and then how things get built around it. And I think brevity is what brings this song its most value. It's like, it's short, it's to the point.
Yeah.
I'm imperfect. This is not going to be perfect love, but it's love nonetheless.
Like a martini, a dirty thing can be good.
Yeah. A little bit of olive juice in your love.
Yum yum.
Hey,
Let's get into track number 3. The silver lining about Moose being in your lap is she might also go in your lap.
Oh.
There you go.
Glass half full. This is like the big song, number 3, Silver Lining. At least when I went to their Spotify page. I
Yes.
was like,
Yes.
oh,
the
mama.
most, yeah.
Which again is why I'm like, why did I not know about this album? Because I go on and it's like almost 200 million streams on this song. And I'm like, was I totally blind? My silly goose self.
I kind of have a blind spot between like 2018 and 2020 where I just like didn't discover new music.
That's kind of true, actually. That's actually kind of
where
true.
we just all didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I guess 2020 is where I was thinking.
Yeah. I graduated in 2017, and I was just like, work.
Yeah.
I was also 2017. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
So
I have to
I
work
missed
now.
a lot of good music in those 24
Yeah.
months.
Too busy.
Yeah.
This was cool though. Like something we didn't really touch on is a lot of these songs have kind of been sitting in Matt Quinn's sort of arsenal for a hot minute.
Yep.
Which I think includes this song. A lot of these are sort of stories or feelings about growing up in Philadelphia, where he's from, and sort of things he's noticed, including in this case a lot of drug-related crises and deaths and people who he knew, unfortunately, like going too soon from something that he never expected to see people he knew go from.
Yeah.
So it's really like a tough pill. It's a tough pill.
Really
Something
sad.
really hard to reckon with.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those songs that has a happy vibe, but a sad meaning to it.
Very much.
Like, because he's from Philadelphia, and yeah, it's basically just like crisis happening in his hometown growing up. And as you referenced at the beginning, that like it's been in his arsenal. So this is something that I found out preparing for this podcast that I didn't know about, that he actually released this song before the album. So Silver Lining was actually released in 2011 under a different band that Matt Quinn was in called Brave Elephant.
I didn't know
I
about
found
that
it
at the
earlier.
release.
It was on, they released it on Bandcamp. And so he just recorded it with a different band. It was released in 2011, and it didn't like do anything.
Yeah, he was
like
yeah.
no one heard it, and he's like, okay,
Wow.
I guess this isn't that great of a song.
Did you listen to the first version?
I did. It's pretty similar, but it's more acoustic-y.
I have it here. Should we compare the two?
Yeah, but it's kind of cool him talking about it. He's like, yeah, I mean, I didn't think that it did well the first time, so he put it in the vault. And then when they got the band together for Mount Joy and they were trying to prep the whole album, he's like, well, we'll give this another shot with the full band. And now it's like their biggest song.
Yeah, what a
Right.
nerve-wracking thing.
Which is crazy.
2 billion people almost didn't hear this song. You know what I mean?
Right,
Right.
exactly. Like he almost just didn't like if it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's such a crazy concept.
I'm curious to see if he's still in this open C tuning.
He loves the open sea.
Okay.
tuning.
I just
He
learned
loves
Skinny
it.
Love a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, man, now when I hear an open C tuning in a song, I'm like, that's such a good tuning.
Yeah. Well, now I'm so many great tunes are written on it. I'm like, do I got to get a guitar and just keep it in open C?
It's really nice.
You know, and it's nice to sing it too.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
really good. And
Yeah, everything's down a couple steps.
yeah, no, nobody's. I've never complained about going down a couple steps.
Well, let's first check out the Brave Elephant version. Go back to the roots
Yeah, I love
Yes.
that.
of Silver Lining. And we'll just play it right from the jump. See if we're in open C.
Yeah, gotta be, right?
Oh yeah,
Skin it
So many
out.
open strings ringing out right now.
Did you hear this, Jack?
I have never heard this.
I'm pretty excited that I knew this and Jack didn't.
Up on the mountain, caught on the rail line.
He's
sounds
also
like
a little like he's not singing the lyrics as
Up on the
like.
mountain, caught on the rail line.
It seems like he's more comfortable with his voice in the newer version of it.
Yeah.
You know, like
7
kinda
years later.
owning it
Drink
a
your
little-
wine,
little bit
smoke
more.
your weed, my brother. Let the heart journey.
That just sounds like maybe like a demo of it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
A first
It's good, though.
draft,
I like
if you
it,
will.
though.
right.
All right, so there.
I was like, that was probably my biggest tidbit that I found out. I'm like, their biggest song.
That's
He
huge.
had to re-release basically.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Okay,
I wonder
let's
how many
see.
people he had in Brave Elephant. They're like, dude, what?
Yeah, can you imagine being in that band? They're like, dude,
What was I doing?
Dude, wait a second, that's Brave Elephant.
I wonder if they get any credit on the
I don't know
I don't
on
know.
the stream.
what the split
With
was.
the split, you know, that 0.006 cents a stream, man. That adds up quick when you got 200 million.
Okay, so 7 years later, Silver Lining is re-released and reworked, and it sounds like this.
that guitar sounds
Way better.
way better.
I'm now going to Spotify to look at the credits to see if it's any of the band members that I do.
Up on the mountain, caught on the rail line.
Just the mix is like night and
Oh.
day.
On the mountain, caught on the rail line. My brother, let the heart just beat. Drink your wine, smoke your weed, my brother.
It's that line. It's like, hey man, you can have your fun.
Yeah.
Just how many, we all know people in our lives, right, that have gone through that battle or lost that battle. And we've all thought those thoughts,
Yeah.
you know?
Where it's
And-
like, man, I'm not going to judge you, but like, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, that's where that line, like, tell the ones you love them.
Yeah.
It's just like straight to the point because
Yeah.
you never know what's going to happen. Like, especially those people that are going through that stuff. Hits home.
Definitely.
And I mean, he just so eloquently puts in what I think a lot of us are feeling, which is like there's a way in which we all need to release steam and go through experiences, but man, just let the hard stuff be, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and tell the ones you love them. Like these are it's almost like a cry or
He's like he's preaching almost.
yeah.
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 Yeah, really beautifully done.
And I really like the angle of like harm reduction versus like just fucking get sober, man. Like
Yeah, or like this
Yeah.
is your brain on drugs.
right, exactly. Like I do like sort of the sympathetic lens here of like, I get it, man. Like we have steam to blow off and we have hard days. And like if you need to smoke a joint and play Mario Kart, totally get that. Just please don't do anything that would like make me lose you, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I really respect that. I get it.
It's amazing to me the amount of times that like these songs where, you know, I think Jack mentioned it earlier, like this is
Grip it and grip it.
it's a pop song, you know, or whatever. It's like a radio famous song,
Yeah.
but the meaning behind it goes so much farther past than the surface level listen. You know,
Yeah.
like it's always amazing to me how that you know, Under the Bridge by the Chili Peppers, like
Oh, sure.
you know, you got these songs you listen like that's a sick guitar riff, you know. And
But
then
he's
it's-
talking about doing heroin under a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
crazy.
just not actually listening. He's like, dude, that song was sick.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and then you're like, wait a minute, these lyrics are like
Really sad.
pretty intense.
I feel like you could have that experience with this song too, because at the beginning it sounds very Skinny Love. It sounds very like, I'm just chilling with the cute little guitar moment. And if you're not really listening to the lyrics, you're like, I love a folk song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can stop my foot to this.
Right. Where's the hootenanny?
Yeah.
And then you like go on genius.com where you really start to pay attention. You're like, man.
Can I still have fun listening to this?
Like we really do have a crisis in this country, huh?
Yeah.
It really does affect lives, huh?
Can we listen to the very cathartic guitar solo that's just like drenched in reverb
Yes.
at 240?
Yes.
Love it.
I wonder if the original has instrumental break or not.
We can
That
try and
solo
see.
it's unreal.
Yeah, it's really nice.
We'll do the 2018 version first.
Yeah.
So it is.
This is the.
Oh, this is the 2018 version.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, my bad.
This sounds
That would have been
eerily
crazy.
similar.
I'm like, did Sam Cooper just rip that whole solo up front element?
I don't know if Sam was in Brave Elephant.
It kind of takes
think
you
it was just-
out of the song for a minute almost, but like in a good way, right? You're kind of like in this chaotic headspace and then right back into the strummy.
Okay, for funsies, I'm gonna check out the Brave Elephant version.
Yeah,
and see.
if it do solo.
These O's aren't even in the.
No.
Up on the
So
No.
replace
Just
the
a
O's
little
with
O-O-O.
solos.
Solo.
O's to solos.
That's a game somewhere. I'm gonna turn that into a game.
Write that down.
Write that down. Cameron, send me a text message when you edit.
I need to find the time I get to direct Cameron to do something.
Oh,
You
anytime
can
you
ask
want.
him to do anything.
Yeah.
Hey, Cameron, I got some laundry that I need picked up.
We don't pay him that much.
Dude, you said anything.
It's at the corner of Belmont. And
Just grab the quarters out of the phone booth that Zach was in earlier. He's
it's
got all the quarters in it.
it's also been at the dry cleaner for a year, so there might be some late fees.
You can take care of those, right?
Yeah.
That
Super
might
chill.
be a big bill to foot or a big foot to bill.
Get out of here right now.
That one was like, that had layers, I think.
Do you think Bigfoot is a cryptid or a weed strain?
Bigfoot would be a good weed strain, dude. I would smoke that one.
You're on that shit like, damn, I got some
I
big
thought you were
feet.
going to ask, do you think Bigfoot has to pick up laundry?
No, he runs around naked. Ha 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 ha.
So track number 4. I love a good song with a reference to the Cha-Cha Slide.
I loved the beginning of this song so much.
We could talk about it or we could play it.
Can I? Yeah, we'll play it. We'll play it. We'll play it.
You clearly want to play it.
We'll play it.
He just sneaks it in there so good. He's like singing about the Cha-Cha Slide, and I love
He's
it.
like, white people can't dance. They love the cha-cha
They tell you to
slide.
do 1 foot to the left.
Okay, we'll play it. We'll play it.
White kids don't dance, they just follow commands. Push your right foot in, leave your heart in your
No, it's the Hokey Pokey. It's not even the Cha-Cha Slide.
Oh
my God.
That, I will say, that feels like a direct assault on my dance moves.
Are you the guy at
I
a
do
wedding
just
who's
follow
like,
fans.
I love the fucking cha-cha slide?
No.
They play like the electric slide.
No.
What's
It's
your
electric.
go-to? What's your go-to wedding dance song? Do you have one?
Oh, wow. Gosh, I mean,
They like get like it gets you
YMCA.
going.
Yeah, like if you hear it, if you're grabbing a drink at the bar and you hear the song, you are sprinting to the dance floor. You're taking your jacket off.
YMCA for me.
YMCA is very good. YMCA is very good. My sister got married a couple weeks ago, and I will say Fireball by Pitbull
That did get the party going.
really went crazy. That
Really?
went crazy. Yep. That was fun.
I mean, I used to be, Ignition used to be my song. I
Of
had
course.
to put that one away.
Fair.
Um,
Noble.
But what was the one that I just heard? September by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
I got
good.
married in September.
Very good.
So there's that layer, but and then they always just change it to whatever day it is that they're getting married.
Right.
That's a
That's
classic. Put a city in a song so you
Yep.
can then just call out whatever city that you're in when you're on tour. That or Twist and Shout. I mean, you can't go wrong with Twist and
Very
Shout.
good. Very good.
I mean, geez, I gotta stop letting you go first. You're just stealing all my answers. I mean, both those songs, Twist and Shout is a great
So
one.
fun.
I wasn't even thinking of Twist and Shout. I was thinking of Shout.
Oh,
Shout.
put my hands up and shout.
Oh yeah. Just
That's
No
fun.
twisting. There's zero
no,
twisting.
there is
going
zero
on.
twisting, just shouting.
so
just shouting
fun.
and then
Getting a little bit
like
lower
when
now.
everyone gets like low on the dance floor, that's a great time.
and your calves
When-
hurt so bad.
talking about just
don't-
following commands. I mean,
Who sings the Get Low
a little bit
song?
softer now, a little bit softer now.
To the window, to the wall.
Is that T-Pain?
I think
I don't actually
so.
know.
No, that is
Lil
Lil
Jon.
Lil
Lil
Jon.
Jon.
The only thing I'll say about Bigfoot is just the music video. I don't know if you
I
watched
watched it. It's fucking crazy.
It's weird.
It partially gave me the idea for the cryptid game because it's people in a bunch of weird fucking prosthetics.
Like the beginning
In
of like
New
the
York.
dude's hand like kind of blowing
it's
up like a balloon.
I was like, oh, whoa.
Have you seen it, Jack?
No.
It
see
starts off as
Spooky.
just like this dude hanging out, just kind of like dancing by himself,
just, like,
and
as
he
well,
like, and then
yeah.
he just like transforms into
What
Bigfoot.
do you think that Bigfoot just was born as like this giant beast. He obviously came from something.
Why are you coming at me, dude? I didn't make the music video.
First, Bigfoot was a lonely guy, and then he danced himself into a Bigfoot. Is that what I'm understanding? Is that the music
That's-
video story?
I like that.
Okay.
It's a little different, but I like it. I like those vibes. Before we move on to sheep, I need to go pee-pee in the potty.
Go piss,
So
girl.
I'm going to do that. Thank you, girl.
1,
2,
3,
4.
5.
Track number 5.
You're getting very sleepy. There's one more sheep. 6.
7,
Listen to the sound of my voice. 8.
9.
I don't know where I'm going with this bit. It started out kind of sleep, and now maybe it's hypnosis. You will like and subscribe to Album ReBrews. Track number 5, sheep.
Give us a rating.
Jeez, oh my God, I just woke up.
That was crazy.
Whoa.
Jesus. Oh my God. What were we talking about?
Jack's now a sleeper agent for the podcast.
I got a meeting in 8 minutes. It's Tuesday morning.
How long have I been here? Oh my God.
This guitar line at the start of the song is so good. I think it's my favorite intro of the whole record.
Oh,
You stole my tidbit. I was going to talk about that. I think the intro, the first note of this song, I think is my favorite note of the entire album. It just that first, right when it drops, it's just this is going to be a good song.
Yeah.
Just right away.
Let's get into it.
Long intro.
Because I feel like it starts, I had this in my notes, very Call Me By Your Name, Sufjan Stevens.
like a lullaby. It's
Like a lullaby, very
you know.
soft. Oh, to see without my eyes. Someone's listening who's going to get that.
Yeah. There it is. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Ooh!
God, that's so good.
It's so
Yum.
good. Just the bass, the kick, and the guitar all changing all at one time together, all nice.
Oh yes. So that was actually one of the songs that we covered as a band before, and just every time we played it, just basically hearing it live because you're playing. I'm just the first
That's
note
how
on the
much you
drums.
love the song.
I'm just every time the first, because it would pause and then it would just be that first cymbal crash, and I'm like, oh yeah.
That's good
This
shit.
is
I think that's a good song.
The major
Can't believe I
seven.
got tickets.
That chord progression and those are my favorite chords to play. So well done between what Matt Quinn's doing on the rhythm and how the lead guitarist Sam Cooper's just ever so he's just complimenting it so well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not coming in and overimposing himself, but they're both in the right space at the right time. And then, and then the first lyric is, the kids get high.
That is a good first lyric.
Sometimes. It's
great.
I've gotten high in a basement sometimes,
Yeah.
that. It's just, that part of it is, it's a relatable song, and it's one that just riff-wise you can ride on for
Oh yeah.
days, man.
Definitely.
This is also another one that was released as a single. So me and our bassist, Pat Hickey, had a debate at practice because they released 3 singles before this album. Astrovan was the same. They didn't re-record it, but Sheep is a different version. I personally like the single version more than the album version. It's very similar, but I don't know why the sound just is better. I've always liked the single version.
Huh.
This guy's always dropping little tidbits about version. Yeah, we got the brown the what is it, the what elephant?
Brave Elephant.
Brave.
The brave elephant. I almost said brown elephant.
It's a good shop.
Yeah.
Um,
I was so nervous.
They're on
to-
strike right now, though.
Oh.
I was so
Don't
nervous
buy-
to
don't go
sound
there.
dumb on this show that I spent a lot of time researching.
Oh, you can sound dumb on this show.
that's what I'm here for.
I gotta know my stuff.
Do you want to hear the single version?
Maybe
Just
just a
play
blip. Yeah.
just the first.
Just
You'd
a
like the
skosh?
first note again.
yeah.
Okay.
The first note sounds
Maybe
a
come
little
in
bit
10
different.
seconds if there's filler.
Come.
There might not be filler because it's a single.
I'll
version.
come
No,
in
it's the same-
7
it's the same intro.
seconds. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a vibier
She's
intro.
a little glossy.
Subtle.
That
but
guitar is so it's a liver version. It sounds like it's I don't
In
know.
a club.
Yeah,
I-
there's more room somehow.
I might get on with Hickey in the sense of I think the album version, its guitar comes through more.
Yeah.
Like that first note when you hear it on the album version, it like the mix of it is better. Now the actual little intro part, I don't know. It's got a little spacier portions to
Yeah.
it that I think fit in well, but.
I didn't realize the single was different, honestly. I was like looking
didn't
through
know.
and I was like, oh, they released it before the album.
Yeah, sometimes
that's
bands will do
cool.
that because then they'll like by the time it's like time to put it all to the record, they're like, actually, let's change a couple things.
yeah.
We have more money.
yeah,
Yo, this Astro Van song loaded us up. We are.
yeah.
We are good to go.
I also love a good pause.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it goes intro, pause, hits that riff, right? Like, and they do it a couple times. Those sheep are rolling in the mud again, like whoa, and it like those moments kind of get you brought in, and everybody back on, not just the band, but like the listeners on time of the song,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's very great. If you don't mind putting that part on,
Of course, of course.
It's about the notes you don't play.
spin that.
Oh, yeah. I'm a DJ.
When there's blood on the street
Yes, this
of
is the,
Baltimore, kids are getting ready for a long war. Maybe I was born in the wrong skin, but those sheep are rolling in the mud again. Like whoa.
What a good plosive to end a musical break on. Sheep.
nice.
Yeah, he gets up there a little
Yeah.
false, just a soft high note there.
It gets kind of dirty with it. That is delicious.
Oh yeah.
And then you have the guitar riff that comes over it, you know, just ever so subtly, like the
Yeah.
tell me it haunts you now. Like it's just vibes wise, it's there. You know,
Yeah.
and we were talking about, you know, the song with Silver Lining where you listen to it, you don't even really think about what it's about.
This one too, right?
I mean, like
this
for
one too.
a long, long time. And, you know, I'll bust out my little facts that I did some
Yeah,
research.
please. Uh-huh.
Let
So
it be known, Jack has an iPad. He had to write down the notes. Let's just make that.
I mean,
known.
because
I wrote down my notes.
Yeah.
when you
I
listen,
forgot that you guys both have left.
Yeah.
when you listen to this,
I don't have this shit memorized.
the only person that doesn't have anything.
when you listen to this statement, you're gonna be like, all right, there's no way Jack could have memorized this, even though it's like 16 words. So on their website for their bio, it's like you gotta like go to Google. They don't publish it anymore, but I found it through the back door, and in their bio of the Mountjoy album, they go, "Sheep, a post-Trump salvo on the responsibilities of the fortunate to overcome political and social despondency."
Hell yeah.
So, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, whoa. When I was reading that, I'm like, I mean, I thought these sheep were just rolling in the mud. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah.
like, you listen to it, it's like, it's a great vibe song, but that's what makes great music is layers, right? It's like onions. And you know, a couple of these songs really just have those layers to it where you listen to it, it sounds good. Then you dig into it, and you're like, wow, this means good.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it means not maybe good all of the time, but it means something.
Yeah, it gives a shit. It takes a stance. And this is another, I think, interesting example of some of these songs having time to marinate, because my understanding of Sheep is when it was originally written, pre-Mountjoy, it was also kind of a response and a feelings dump to some political unrest in Baltimore, in Maryland, following a police brutality incident that resulted in murder, and just sort of seeing people taking to the streets. And I think it really is interesting getting sort of like pre-Trump lyrics with post-Trump delivery.
The delivery is really good. Like you can tell he's feeling fucked up about a lot of stuff.
Because I feel like also the feelings that like white people have had about political unrest and about their responsibility and their complicitness in these types of events has also changed. So to have this band come back and be like, nah, y'all, like we kind of gotta step up and like do some shit. Because you see all this shit that's gone down since the original inception and you're like, oh, shit hasn't only like not changed, it's also gotten worse.
Yeah, it's becoming more relevant.
Yeah. So I respect them for that.
Yeah.
And I also, you know, it's written in a way where it's not at, you know, in your face.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do. You know, it's hard when you're feeling those emotions.
Oh, yeah.
To be able to subtly put that into lyrics and then take those lyrics and put them into something that's as vibey as this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what this whole album is balancing, is it's like the message and the vibe are kind of at times contrasting one another.
I feel so bad vibing about political unrest. Like,
but I'm also
But it's just such a good song.
the message is really great. I really appreciate.
You know, like when I brought up U2 earlier when we were at break, but like growing up, U2 was my favorite band. I was obsessed with U2 in grade school. And Sunday Bloody Sunday was the first guitar song I ever learned.
Nice.
And I had no idea what Sunday Bloody Sunday was about at the time. I'm like, this guitar riff's sick.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, a couple years later, I'm like, whoa. Like, you know, it's like sometimes that perspective takes a while to seep in, but once it does, it adds that new layer of meaning. And it gets back to why we chose the album at the beginning, right? 5 years. Some of these things are as relevant, if not more relevant now than they were then, and they'll continue to be. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Speaking about things that are relevant and aren't relevant, this next song, Julia, brings up TED Talks, and I don't think those are relevant anymore. When's the last time you guys thought about TED Talks?
I feel like TED Talks were compromised.
When I was on a TED Talk.
Were you really on a TED Talk?
No, I wish.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like TED Talks got compromised by, like their integrity was compromised by TEDx Talks. Because fucking anyone can
There's
give
too
a
many
TEDx.
TED Talks.
Anyone can do a TED
Anyone
Talk.
could do
Yeah.
a TEDx.
This is a TED Talk.
We could do a TED Talk.
We could do a TEDx.
Can we somehow do a TEDx spoof?
New segment right now.
Write it down.
Cam, text me this.
Write it down. I mean, they definitely don't hit the way they used to.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I would have TED Talks, like, presented to me in, like, psychology class. And I'd be like, whoa.
There's a big thing about the power posing one. You all saw it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where you stand like a Superman.
Yeah, that TED Talk like blew up,
Yeah.
and then like that study was replicated a couple times and like didn't verify, like was just not like verifiable science. Was not a good study. Did not actually prove very true. But everyone's like, dude, I'm fucking power posing right now for this job interview.
I feel like TED Talks, you know, in grade school, it'd be like your teacher would show up, and in hindsight, they were probably like hungover or something. Like, oh, we're gonna put The Lion King on.
Absolutely.
It's like you'd be in college, and your professor like, we're gonna watch a TED Talk today. He didn't want to teach. That was basically what
Someone else is going to teach you today.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
gonna watch someone else.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm so sorry, but I need to take a quick pause. I got to pee.
Go
I
for
broke the
it.
seal.
Getting started, we had to play our first show, and the venue at Uncommon Ground was finally like leading up to it, like, hey, you guys sold out 2 days. This is great.
Yeah.
By the way, what's your band name? And we were like, we hadn't really gotten that far yet. And we were at practice, and I don't know, was it you that was like, we're just getting started or something like that? And
We
We're
made a
just
joke.
getting started.
It was basically started as a bit at practice that we were a band that never played any music. We just went up on stage and like just did sound check. We're just like, check 1, 2, we are getting started, 3, 2, and we were just sound check the whole time. And we're like, we are getting started.
It's
And
kind of an art form. That's like an artsy
Yeah.
it was
performance
like
art.
it was like a
Yeah.
dumb bit that we would say at practice. Like
It's a lot funnier when
We
you were
just-
in practice.
we just sell out these shows, and people are just like in the crowd, just like, come on, play something. And then Jack didn't actually consult with us when the venue asked what our band name was.
Or
So you like,
I
here's
don't
the
have
ticket
the
link.
awareness to realize that we were actually joking about that, and I just said our band name was getting started.
He's like, here's the ticket link. I'm like, perfect. And I look at it, it's like, it just says like getting started at Uncommon Ground. I'm like, I guess that's our band name.
That's so good.
So, and the reason why I was bringing it up was because when I was telling the story about me thinking these were 8%, I'm looking and I'm like, local causes. Wait, that's a sick fucking band name.
Local causes. This is a
Write
good
that
band
down.
name.
Write that down. Write that down.
You
So
may
we
even call
also
it-
trademarked that in case you ever
TM,
want to change it in the
TM.
future.
TM.
But we were like, gosh darn it, we were just too late. We were too late. We already have a song on Spotify.
Right.
If we didn't have a song on Spotify, we would change it.
Come
So,
buy a ticket for a local cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Come support a local
Come
cause.
support a local cause.
Exactly. It was-
Buy merchandise for a local cause.
Yeah. It's
And
It's
people
a
just
tax write-off.
I think Katy
the
Perry said it in another
local
life.
cause. The local cause is our rent.
you guys.
That
You
is
guys do charity stuff, concerts. You
Yeah.
know, like oh, man, it's so
Exactly.
good.
And then, but we're also local causes.
yeah. Yeah.
Causes of problems.
Swing.
Yup.
What is with the swings? Are the swings a part of your show?
No,
Because
but I
you
love
just
it.
started saying swing.
I think the microphone is bringing it out of you.
I think it's like a good catchline for
It
him.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
The
think
last
it's
time I
going right.
heard swing was Wayne's World.
Love it.
Swing.
No, it was actually like 5 seconds ago when I said it.
All right, we'll take that offline.
Cam.
There's no swinging on the next podcast.
He can edit out all the swings. He's powerful enough.
So powerful.
Can you make me sound like a 6'5"?
He can make you sound like Frank Sinatra, but he can't make you look like him. Speaking of Frank Sinatra, no, he doesn't sing in a falsetto. I love the falsetto on Julia. It's really nice spot in his range, and he doesn't do it in a lot of the songs.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, do you want to play? Just punch it in anywhere.
Yes.
Would love to.
Dictator was waiting for
Oh,
the
there's the line.
dog, but I don't know he was doing much. 'Cause I just lost my mind in the fluorescent lights. All my life in my mind, a river running free like
Well,
No
So
break.
good.
He's just right in it.
Yeah,
So
and,
good.
and you brought up talking about Coldplay and Yellow earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And, Chris Martin also has the unbelievable ability to transition from I don't know what you call non-falsetto to
Head voice,
falsetto,
right?
Chest voice.
chest
Head
voice to
voice.
falsetto, and back. Like that to me is where you really find great singers, is where they can blend the two together, and you really never know when they're transitioning from one to the other. And he does
It's
it
tough to
so
do.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
so well.
Ugh.
I also love the beginning. The first, if you go back to the first line of the song, straighten my sweater, step up in line. I'm ordering food high, and I don't know why I'm so nervous. I've
Real
been there
as
before. Why am I so nervous?
So
You think
nervous.
everybody's
Like,
looking at you?
You feel ready
like-
to order Taco Bell a little buzz? They know.
They know.
They know.
I'm like, can I please have a bean burrito? They're like, yeah, girl.
Yeah, girl,
Duh.
we got you.
And it's an extension too of what they do in Sheep, where you have this guitar that's kind of following the vocals around, not overimposing and taking over the song, but coming in at the right moments with just a lick or two, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I feel like that's throughout. It's a theme that you hear throughout this album, of him just finding the right moments to kind of like come in with a nice hammer on, hammer off type lick. Not too much, but just the right amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very like Father John Misty. Very like, or Krungbin.
You love
That's how you
Krungbin.
pronounce them?
Yeah, how do you
We
say
always
it?
debate that.
Krungbin?
We pronounce Krungbin.
How do you say it?
Karinga-badooga-doo.
That's actually right. I've been joking about
We've been waiting for
starting
someone
a
to say.
side project called Krungbin 2, and I'm just gonna it's pronounced like them but spelt way different, and then just the word like TOO. Krungbin also.
Krungbin as
Just
well.
spelled
we're
way
just
differently,
gonna-
but you just say it's like,
Same-
well, it's
same.
pronounced like.
Yeah, we're just gonna
Krungbin.
make the same type of music, but we're gonna wear bald caps instead of wigs.
There you go.
Every time I say it, it's different.
Right.
Speaking of band names, this next song is a band name and an album name
Yeah.
And a mountain.
and a mountain.
And a
name.
mountain.
And
Is it a real mountain? I didn't look.
It
up.
is.
It
It
is.
is.
That's
That's what they
orange.
named.
In Tennessee.
So it's
don't know.
in Pennsylvania. It's by where Sam Cooper and Matt Quinn grew up. I guess it was like between both of their homes. I think it was mostly Sam that talked about it, but it's a real mountain over there.
That's cool.
Poetic.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. Name your band after geological artifacts. No, what's the word I'm looking for?
Artifacts.
Monuments.
Things created by the tectonic plates.
Yeah. If you don't name your band after something incredibly huge and imposing. So now we're on the flip side of the record. We're on track number 7, and we get like a way different feel the rest of these tracks, right? Mm-hmm. We're kind of like more mellowed out. We're like in the home
Definitely.
stretch, which is fine. But I kind of miss all the good riffs and stuff. So this one has another long runway, right? How did you guys feel about Mount Joy by Mount Jew on the album Mount Joy?
You know, this is a song that I think when I said at the beginning of the show that seeing them live has made me appreciate, you know, like you go see a band live, you kind of hear songs that maybe on the record you didn't love, but then you go back and you listen to and you're like, wow, okay, I like this one. Like this is one of those songs for me where it's, you know, I've seen them a couple times now, and the more I've seen them play it, the more I go back and I'm like, all right, the beginning I don't really like it's
better when it picks up.
And then when it picks up, it starts to go.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the song, you're like, all right, I'm really like where this is at. It just takes a little bit of time to get there, right?
Yeah.
And I think when you're listening to it in the setting of where it is in the album, it's hard to get it or hard to appreciate it in that level. But, you know, seeing it live a couple times is where I would say I'm a little biased because I'm like, oh, they play this live, and by the end of it, you know, everyone in the crowd's like screaming the name of the band.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's that layer to it.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I'll say about it is like I've always found it interesting bands that name songs after the band name.
Yes.
You know, that's such a bold, like you are literally putting a brand on your band with a song.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
And my favorite band of all time is Wilco, and Wilco has a song named Wilco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know that's a great song, but like when I think of Wilco, do I think of the song Wilco?
That's
You know?
deep.
Yeah.
Because I also think of the 1975.
I was just going to say that.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, I think on every album they
Yeah.
have a song called the 1975.
I think it's the
that's
first.
cool.
I think it's the first song on every album.
I think you're right.
I think they start off every album with the first song being just the 1975. They're
Yeah.
all different songs.
Yeah. And it's never
That's
the
wild.
one if you're looking
Yeah.
back at like at the self-titled like the 1975. You're not thinking of the 1975. You're thinking of like Girls or like Chocolate or
Yeah.
whatever. So I think that's very interesting. But it's kind of cool to like put because it's another instance of like the song The 1975 on the album The 1975 by the band The 1975.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're really hammering it home,
Right.
huh?
Yeah.
What do you think came? I would love to know what came first. Was the song written before the band was created? You know, that's kind of a key
That's a good
question
question.
here.
Yeah.
Because the example I gave, Wilco has been around forever, and then
Yeah.
they wrote Wilco. They had Wilco the album, and then Wilco the song.
Yeah.
You know, the 1975 seems like they've just said this is something we're doing every album. But
Yeah.
like, where does Mount Joy fit into that spectrum of,
It's.
you know, or whatever you would call it, formula?
I would say that it seems like the band name was there first.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I think we know what their first songs were,
Yeah.
at least. Well,
But do you?
I don't.
'Cause
Well, yeah. Well, because I was gonna say.
suspenseful music. Can.
Well, I was about to say Silver Lining, but as we mentioned earlier, that was a different band name. That was
Right.
under
Matt Quinn,
Brave
if you're
Elephant.
listening, please send us a DM. We would
Please.
really want to know.
That'd be sick.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
come on the pod.
Hey!
All right.
When I think about the 1975, I think it's similar in this context where the 1975 by the 1975, the album by the band, was the debut album. And Mountjoy by Mountjoy, featuring the song Mountjoy, was the debut album.
Yeah.
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 So I think in those cases, if I were to speculate, I would say they knew the band name and they were like, this is
Self-titled.
us, baby.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
I always respect a self-titled debut.
Totally.
I feel like,
Bold.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
some of
and
my
it's also
favorite.
good branding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like why create an album that you're gonna make somebody say, "Oh, it's this album by this artist"? Like, no, it's it's Mountjoy. Like
Yeah.
that's and then once people know who you are, it's like, all right, hey, this is, Orange Blood or
Yeah. I mean,
we
some of
got
my favorite
Rearrange It,
albums
so
are
there's a second
self-titled debuts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Young the Giant's debut,
Walk the Moon's
Gorgeous.
debut. I love
Cage,
Young the Giant's debut.
Cage the Elephant's debut.
Yeah.
Those are two of like my all-time favorite albums.
It's not a debut, but Paramore's self-titled album.
So that's what we're taking away from Mountjoy.
Yeah.
So get ready for Getting Started, self-titled debut album, Getting Started.
And that would be
just
such
started.
a good debut
Started.
album.
Got
that's-
started.
We needed.
That's the second
Got
album.
started.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Then your farewell will be finished.
Well, we always joke about
That quick.
Humphrey. I think it was Humphreys McGee, the Chicago band. Their debut album was like named Greatest Hits Volume 2.
Yeah.
I think is
We've talked about bands that do that. It's a good bit.
Remo Drive.
Yeah, Remo
Yep.
Drive, yeah.
it's hilarious.
You know what else is a great bit? Jesus in an Astro van.
Oh my god, I love the lyricism in the next song. I think it slays.
It's really good. Do you guys know
It's
what an
so
Astro van is?
Yeah.
only because of Genius.com.
Only because of Genius.com.
No, I mean, Astrovans for me. My family had a family vacation down in Florida, and my mom rented a minivan, and we got an Astrovan. It
Nice.
was lit, captain's chairs in the
Sick.
back.
Yeah.
That's what I think about. Just like it's a comfortable ride in an Astrovan.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not gonna get there fast, but you're gonna get there, and you're gonna be well rested, and you're gonna be comfortable.
Yeah.
You're gonna be cruising.
I don't think I've
yeah.
ever been in an Astro van.
No.
This one was written for their Bonnaroo crowd. They're like, you're going to come see
Yeah.
us and drive in an Astro van to a music festival.
Yeah, this is like another one. There's another song coming up that they've mentioned that they wrote as like a joke too. And this was one that they said that they wrote as a joke. And he's just like, yeah, I just thought it was like kind of funny, just
Yeah.
picturing Jesus being like a modern day stoner
Yeah.
driving around in an Astro van. And then it just becomes this major hit. Like there was an interview with Matt Quinn talking about when his manager called him and said, hey, Spotify called and they're going to put you on a playlist. And he's like, nice. Like, it's like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know. I guess like I make some playlists. Like, what does that mean? But I think they got put on like the first slot of an editorial playlist and it just blew up.
People just
like
clicked on it,
overnight.
yeah.
Like overnight it got, that's kind of why playlisting nowadays is so big.
Yeah.
Like, you get a good placement and you get your songs in the right hands.
Yeah.
It's crazy
Totally.
how fast it can blow up.
If you just make all your songs alphabetical, that way if the playlist is organized alphabetically, you're the first one.
Yeah.
This is full. That's great recall. That's great recall.
Yeah.
I think we said that joke off air.
I think
no
we
one's gonna
did.
get it but us. That joke's for us, guys.
Or you name your song like Washing the Dishes Vibes.
Yeah.
And then someone who's making a playlist for that is like, oh my God. Oh, this is exactly what
Or
I've been
write
looking for.
like really intense metal songs and call it like Spa Music Volume Number 2. Just to fuck
Yeah.
someone's massage up. Can we listen to the bridge on this one?
course.
It's like it's a good bridge, dudes.
Those snacks are snacking.
Sorry, once again with the like the guitar.
So good. Little riffs. Little
I
bends.
know I've made
this
it
so
when
much.
my doobie smoking. Jesus puts my name upon his guest list. Says, son, you're famous in heaven. Maybe you're famous in heaven.
I love this.
And maybe
Build up on the drums.
Right here.
Jesus.
we're all alone together now, and I don't want to see those tears again. You know, Jesus drives an Astro van.
Just imagine like being the happiest you've ever been, and Jesus hands you a doobie, and he's like, "You're famous in heaven."
Yeah.
Doobie smoking Jesus put your name on the guest list.
Awesome.
Bars. That's awesome.
So good.
I
Yeah.
love that line.
I mean, he's like mentioned before, like a big influence of Matt Quinn is the Grateful Dead. So I think this is like a little bit of an ode to them a little bit.
Yeah.
Like kind of, I think he even mentions Jerry in like the first verse. He mentions like seeing Jerry smoking a doobie, like right when he gets up to heaven. It's just the lyrics in this are
That
top
bridge
notch.
is exceptional, and it translates so well live because you have that last part. You know, Jesus drives, and then you could get
then the
crowd
crowd knows
engagement and
it,
just
yeah.
boom out there. Like that's the shit you dream about, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like that's just every musician has the I wish I wrote those moments,
Uh-huh.
and you know this is a song where the riff at the beginning, you know, it's just a basic open C guitar that turns into this vibey, jammy, awesome
yeah.
sing along tune. It's you know, Silver Lining has the most plays, but I think to me what encapsulates this album is this song, and it's what put them on the trajectory to be where they are today. And
Yeah.
that's you know, it's just awesome.
Right.
I dig it.
It was literally like this song started to blow up, and it's what made them decide to quit their jobs. Like they're like, all right, I think this is like
And
we
for that
could
reason,
do this.
I'm out.
You know that doobie smoking Jesus song we wrote? I could tell my boss I quit. Oh man, that's great. Good
weeks.
for them.
Right.
Let's move on then to
Cardinal's about a bird, but not about a bishop, right?
I definitely don't think it's about a bishop.
Okay.
don't think
Yes.
so.
Yeah, because that's a type of bishop, right? Is a cardinal?
Yes.
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 That's
That
a
is-
Catholic question.
Yeah.
But I know about the bird. It's
That's why there's
red.
whistling in this song, because it's about
Oh,
birds.
because birds. Aw.
And because they just want to be like the Lumineers.
Valid.
Home. Who sings that? That's Sharp.
Edward
That's
Sharp and the
Edward
Magnetic
Sharp. Yeah.
Zeros.
I'm just thinking of all the whistling songs
Yum,
from
yum.
this era. Yeah.
What about
Edward
you're
Sharp.
missing a big one?
No,
Oh yeah.
Mm.
This is a good bit too. Yeah.
isn't
Yeah,
Edward?
it.
I'm still thinking
Peter,
about
Bjorn, and
Edward
John.
Sharp. Isn't Edward Sharp
Oh
one
no,
dude?
that is. But I'm
Peter,
thinking
Bjorn, and John.
I'm thinking of Peter, Bjorn, and John, and
Young
then there's
folks?
also
Young folks.
uh,
I don't care about the young folks.
Foster the People.
Oh,
Durr.
Faster Than My Bull. Yeah.
I have that on vinyl.
So
I
you know what's
love
weird is
Foster the People.
I
They're
whistled
great.
Peter, Bjorn, and John and was thinking of Punk Rock Kids.
I was gonna say it was definitely Peter.
That was a mind fuck.
That was crazy.
All right. That's another all-time album, Torches
Yeah.
by Forrest.
Oh my god.
That's like
Can
a
someone
that's a
please
no skip.
pick Torches by Foster
That's
the
a no skip album.
That's one of my favorite albums,
That's-
period.
Got that one on vinyl.
All right,
Me
let's listen
too.
to these whistles and see how they compare to all
Yes.
these iconic whistles.
Yes.
Red cardinals in the white snow. They got too high.
They got too high.
I hope for the winter, and I had a roommate warm. He got so high, couldn't go out at night. So he found love on the internet in this freezing in Pennsylvania.
There's that little transition
Come on,
to falsetto.
falsetto.
Really beautiful, nice tune.
Yeah.
That's
really good
lovely.
pacing.
It very much feels like a little snow day, you know?
That
I
is
like
a
it.
great analogy, just of like what
just
you're
the
thinking
vibe.
about.
Yeah.
It's like the birds in Beauty and the Beast. When they like take your cape and it's snowing out.
And
Yeah.
Snow White.
And it has
Snow White.
and it has
No, there's birds in Beauty and the Beast.
You're probably right. There's a lot of
It's when they fall in love.
situations.
Yeah.
Cinderella too. There's a
Yeah.
lot of Disney princess situations where they have a bird friend.
it's got one of the most direct, I think one of his most directly beautiful lines of the album. All of my favorite people, they don't march to the beat of your drum. And who that's directed to, I don't know, but I've always just really appreciated that. And I just wanted you to know you don't have to come clean to me. Like, it's just this beautiful way in which she's saying, like, hey, it's all right to be different. It's all right to be yourself. And I also don't need to know about all of you. I just need to know the parts that you're willing to share with me. And I don't know. I think throughout the song, like, you listen to Sheep, you listen to Astrovan, Silver Lining, it's like you really got to read between the lines. And then all of a sudden, he just kind of comes out and is like, boom, I'm going to hit you in the face on this, like, very soft, whistly, beautiful song. I played this song myself acoustically, and at the beginning, that first part, he holds for the winter, and he holds that measure longer than it feels like it needs to.
Yeah.
And it's like, you naturally want to change into the next part of the chord progression, and he purposefully holds it there. And it always gets me. It always gets me.
Building that
You get faked out.
Yeah, it's just like I'm like constantly like, oh, I'm going to transition to this chord, and then like it's like nope, you got to hold it for that one little moment, and I don't know, that's all I got.
Nice. Yeah, it is
love-
kind of it's one of the songs that's not so metaphorical. He's really telling you, like, just kind of be who you want to be who you are.
It also makes me mad that I can't whistle. I just can't.
If you could go 2 fingers in the mouth whistle and really get that.
That's
Like
that's
the-
like Coach Dad.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say,
Yes.
like dad at a kid's game.
Yes.
That's a good trait. Like, you know, there was a
Gets
great
people's attention.
question that I was asked. It's like, if you could have a useless superpower, what would it be?
Loud
Whistle
whistle.
that
whistle.
kills people.
What did you say?
Whistle that kills people.
No, it's gotta be useless. It's gotta be useless.
Zach.
It's gotta be useless.
Zach, oh my god.
Yo!
A whistle.
I was
That's a
thinking-
superhero or some
thinking
shit.
of
Or a villain.
We're just talking
Yeah.
about
Who's he
whistling. Zach, do you have someone in mind?
The bad guys, obviously. They're gonna kill good people. Speaking of good whistles, let's check out this guitar solo.
Oh my
All right,
god.
Cameron, we're gonna cut that out.
I don't feel safe here anymore.
I'm not that good a whistler, don't worry. I love how classic this guitar tone is. Like, it's definitely on a tube amp, and it's just nice. It's big too.
I like that it gets worked into the rest of it too.
Uh-huh.
I like when vocals join a little guitar moment. It's like, ooh, hi.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, I think you can really feel the connection that those two have. Right? They have played for so long together that I think, like, they just kind of know the pockets when it's time for the guitarist, when it's time for Matt Quinn. Like, that's just time, right? And I don't know. Yeah, it's to your point. Like, they just kind of, like, the guitar comes in, he stops singing, and there's a little riff, and then, like, it's just they're always kind of building on one another rather than competing with one another. And in a band, that's such a hard thing to balance. It's like everybody wants to distinguish themselves. Everybody wants to have their moment. And it seems like Sam Cooper as a guitarist kind of lets himself have his moments in these small little tidbits throughout, right?
Yeah.
That's why I stay in the rhythm section in the back.
Well, the beep, bop, boop, boop, beep
I
section.
feel bad for drummer
Boots and
Jack
cats
because,
and
like,
boots and cats.
there's not crazy jumping in here. It's just all serving the song.
Yeah.
Which is a hard thing to do as a drummer too, right? You just
Totally.
gotta, like, hold down the beat for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's got some nice fills in there somewhere, and like throughout the album.
Uh-huh.
But it's funny that I was reading like an article about like all of their different backgrounds, and their drummer said that he came from like a punk rock background.
Oh, I didn't
and I'm
know.
like, that doesn't add up at all.
He's way too tasteful.
Not
tasteful, but
it's just like I'm listening. They're like, yeah, our
Delicate.
sound comes from just all having different backgrounds, and they mentioned him being a punk rock. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like that doesn't add up here.
That's so funny. All right, we ready for track number 10?
Yes.
You guys know who Jenny Jenkins is?
I read about it on
Did I go to high school with her?
genius.com.
It sounds like one of those names, right? Jane Doe.
Is Jenny Jenkins a real person? That's the first question. But we'll find that out later.
When I was looking into this song specifically, because I love this song, that I wanted to know like who Jenny Jenkins was, like if he knew this person, but he went into saying that this was a previous Jerry Garcia song
Yes.
that is called Jenny Jenkins.
What?
Is that a cover?
It's not a cover,
Oh,
but
just an
it's
homage?
it's an homage to Jerry Garcia, who he loves, as you can kind of see that through like Astrovan and things. But I went because I thought it was a cover. I saw it was called Jenny Jenkins. I ran to it. It's not.
My
same
understanding
song.
is
Same song name.
named as an homage to original Jenny Jenkins song, written about girlfriend who accompanied to Los Angeles. And I was like, damn, LA is kind of fucking stupid, huh? And it's like one of those situations where you like move to a new place with a person and you're like, oh, I actually feel crazy and so out of my element, but there's someone here who like gets it.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah. And there's someone who can like look around and be like, this is some fake shit.
Yeah, he kind of talks and writes about like how different Pennsylvania is from LA.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine, not having been to
Oh.
Pennsylvania or LA, how much that culture shock would have been.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I even read about like some of the palm trees were imported, and he's like, this is actually just all fake.
Yes.
He's like, what?
Just bougie ass rich people getting the right palm trees.
Right. This song, too, like you were mentioning earlier about how he moved out to the West Coast to follow his girlfriend. And like, it's about how she's like his home base, basically. But then all these other songs on the album are kind of about like what happens to relationships when you're touring and about how they fall apart. Like Dirty Love is like hints at that. And I think some of the other ones, but they never say whose relationship or anything that happens. And this is like the one that he comes out and talks about following his girlfriend. I'm like, it's probably about her. Like all the other songs, like this one's about her being the home base, but then the other ones are about kind of about that falling apart. So I don't know.
And I mean, he is kind of like, my understanding is the primary songwriter.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yes.
Yeah, very much so.
Who hurt you? And also, I'm glad they did because you wrote good songs about it.
right. The song is lovely. It feels very tender.
Yeah.
It feels very like there was a love song in Block Party talking about like being in a long-term relationship and sharing your sadness with a partner.
Yeah.
And it feels very reminiscent of that, where it's like just like someone who you can be real with.
Well, writing songs about your girlfriends are cool. Like, that's fine, I guess. But, like, writing songs about your dog, dude, that's
so
where
cool!
it's at.
Let's fucking
Write
go!
songs about your dog. Track number 11.
Sato Potato!
Zach, you are crushing.
Unreal transition.
You are crushing the transitions, dude.
That's what I was born for.
I
That
love
is-
hearing
I mean,
about people's
they're coming
nicknames.
they're not even just like good commentary transitions. They're at the perfect time every
Like
time.
we were actually just like kind of running out of steam on Jenny Jenkins, and like everyone's looking around, and all of a sudden here comes Zach with the great transition.
I've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah.
I know when it's time to talk about dog songs, dude.
Can you come on stage between when we're playing and just do the
Fun!
If you
transitions?
need an MC, like, I'll hang
Yeah,
out.
because
That'd be sick.
that'd be
Sato
great at that.
Galen's like, please get Jack off the microphone.
Yeah. I mean, that happens when you guys have, like, it just happened on Saturday. They have to tune their guitars, and he's like, all right, Jack, get up there. And I come out from the back of the drum set.
so funny.
And just talk on the
Well,
mic.
and it's also because I know he wants to talk.
I do like to talk. I don't like to be trapped in the back. That's
Yeah,
all.
no.
Jack-
So you come up and do your type 5.
He does
Yeah.
band
You're
trivia.
like airline food.
Well, the last few shows, except for the one on Saturday, they ask like how many mics we need, and I always say 2 because I want one in the back. But I don't do any backup vocals at all. It's just for talking in between songs.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I just like to talk to the
Figure out
crowd.
like somewhere you can yell.
Yeah,
Because you can yell while you're playing drums, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So about his dog, but also about an ex of his girlfriend.
Is
kinda.
my understanding as well.
My understanding, which is like an extra oofy way to write about an ex.
Yeah.
Just write about your dog, dude. I like your dog.
'Cause,
Don't make me
like,
sad.
Co-parenting.
I didn't hear about the X thing. I just thought it was about
Potato potato.
Seder Potato.
I thought it was about Seder Potato.
Because there was that interview. I tried watching a lot of interviews because that's where you find these little
Yeah,
tidbits.
yeah.
And it was like a fan question at the end. It's like, do you have like a funny story about like writing a song, just any song? He's like, well, Sado is actually about Sam Cooper's dog Sadie, and like we wrote it in like 2 minutes as a joke. And then fans are always asking him after shows, like, why don't you ever play that song? He's like, I mean, because it's like a joke. We didn't think people would like that song. It's like, you guys never play it. It's like, no.
That sounds familiar.
We write
Street
a
dog?
song about Zach's dog that's like Roscoe Bosco.
Oh, Roscoe has so many songs written about him.
Oh,
I like to sing Roxanne, but I say Roscoe.
cute.
Instead of put on the red light, I say poop on the floor tonight because he's done that.
I believe it. Yeah.
Let me check if am I right? Because so yeah, so I think it is like about the dog that you've like maybe like even shared like with another, and then you still got the dog after, right?
That
After
is
his
what I was
girlfriend
kind of
Eliza
seeing
left?
as well.
Sounds like my nightmare.
So,
Yeah.
but I have a friend of a friend who adopted a dog.
Yeah.
Had the dog for a couple of years. Met a woman. The woman ended up living with him. They lived together with the dog. They break up. She took the dog.
Aw.
Interesting.
And he was devastated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like, "No, I'm taking the dog." I feel like that's his dog.
We gotta call this guy.
We gotta
Yeah.
check the legislation.
Yeah.
We should check the
We gotta get
legislation.
There should be a dog prenup whenever.
Yes.
back to the prenup.
Back to the prenups. If we're learning anything from this episode, is prenups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Consider them.
yeah.
Consider.
Get a prenup
Consider
for your dog.
in any part of your life.
Sign a prenup for a moose.
Everything is prenup.
Did they have prenups in ancient Greece?
I doubt it.
So St. George probably never got one either.
No, it's
Man.
probably
God damn it, Zach.
Do you guys know anything about St. George?
Damn
I
it.
didn't until today.
No, absolutely nothing. And I feel like I still don't really know anything.
Dude,
I read
you got
some stuff
better
about-
transitions than a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh,
I
that's
read
great.
some stuff about like Constantinople and like the Byzantine Empire. And
You mean Istanbul?
no,
Not Constantinople.
We can't go back to Constantinople.
If you've got a date in Constantinople, they'll be waiting in Istanbul.
yeah.
Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. People just liked it better that way.
Even no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do They Might Be Giants right now.
Oh boy.
This is like the most heady piece. Like this is like the most like I have a literature degree piece.
Yes, very much.
Which I like you wouldn't expect from the rest of the record. But it's still done very well.
Yeah,
Like,
this one's very like.
as soon as you read Wikipedia about St. George for 20 minutes, the song makes so much more sense.
Because I was like listening to it and reading the lyrics and everything, and I was already like, shit. Because the lyrics are very like, what's your legacy when you die? And how will the people you love remember you? And I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh, gee.
Ow. Ow.
These are the nightmare thoughts that I have. Like, you know.
Yes. I'm like, I don't have therapy until next week. Like,
Yeah.
guys,
Just be so
please.
We're gonna have to push back the podcast. I need to think about this.
I
This
gotta
is our
go have a
legacy, Sarah.
crisis.
This is how.
I'm okay with that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good legacy.
Yeah, I'll take
My
it.
legacy can be seen like come on air a lot.
I said come so many times on air. Oh.
You're known for your transitions.
Thanks.
This one does have a cute little homage wink to Brave Elephant in the lyrics, which I did clock.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning of the second verse, it says, it's been said that he was the bravest elephant. And then at the end of the verse, when we meet again, I'll be the bravest elephant. And I think that's cute.
I thought that this was released as another Brave Elephant song, but I couldn't find it. So I don't know if it was like under a different
Dude,
name.
it's on SoundCloud, dude. You gotta check it out.
Check it out, dude.
You know, I only use SoundCloud, and maybe this is the wrong application, but I only use it to find like really good remixes and mashups.
Super Mash Bros.
Yeah.
Do you remember those guys? Shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool time whenever like anybody could like do mashups.
Yeah.
It was just like everything.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, dude, these guys are nuts. They're putting the Jackson 5 and 50 Cent together.
Exactly. Exactly.
There are always such good remixes on SoundCloud.
You remember those SoundCloud remixes from your younger days?
Wow.
You too.
Wow.
Wow.
At this point, Zach begins a 7-minute tirade on how this song is actually a cover song, when it in fact is an original. So don't worry about the segment seeming a little bit short. Just enjoy the song for a minute.
Dagger in your mouth, waiting on the words to come down. That this ain't working out. If you worry, don't worry about me. I always wanted you to see the California coastline. Oh, your old time.
Really lovely. Very chill. I like a chill ass closer.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Chill ass closer to a chill ass album.
Definitely. Should we take a moment?
Yeah, I gotta go pee.
Oh, yeah. And we can also take a second to deliberate on perhaps her brewski.
Yeah, have that ready by the time I get back.
I have to pee too. Oh, no. You can go first. You can go first.
All right, so it's a beautiful sunny day in Los Angeles, and we're walking down Hollywood Boulevard, and we see in the distance, down a line of imported palm trees, a van. It's an Astro van, and music's bumping. Windows are down, pulls right on up, and welcomes you into the passenger seat. What does he do?
Thank you all for tuning in. You get in the van. Jesus looks at you and says, listen to this. You know what he plays? He puts on Mount Joy's debut album, Mount Joy. So that's what we're given as the Rebrewski today, is most likely album that Jesus plays on the aux cord when you hop in that Astro van.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Congratulations.
Good job, Mount Joy.
Jesus,
Folks-
fancy the
Mount
ox
Joy,
you had
Mount
Hannah
Joy.
Doobie.
This is a
Mount Joy,
lifetime
Mount Joy,
achievement
Mount Joy,
award.
Mount Joy. Do you think they're going to listen to this?
I hope so. We'll send it to
They
them.
have. Or not they have, but
Folks, thank you so much for checking out another beautiful episode of Album ReBrews, our podcast, in fact. If you'd like to check us out on Twitter or Instagram, you can just... Oh no, I've had cold snacks.
sorry, I had the giggles.
You can check us out, in fact, at Album ReBrews on Twitter or Instagram. Or, in fact, if you would like to take a look at our website, it is, in fact, www.albumrebrews.com. And, of course, naturally, in case you didn't know, we recently launched a Buy Me a Coffee link. It is buymeacoffee.com/rebrews. In fact, I believe. If it's not a fact, cut it. And you can donate as little as $1 to buy our guests a drink. We appreciate it because we are an independent podcast. Thanks.
Big thanks to Cameron Bopp. He is too darn good at air hockey. Tell him that next time you see him. Or DM him on Twitter. Go check him out on Twitter at CamBop. He is also an audio engineer and working professional in the city. Go hit him up. We love him. We love the work he does here. A big thanks to Jack and Jack from Getting Started. Go check out their band. Go check out gettingstarting.band on Instagram. Check out their latest single, Reverberations, wherever you listen to music. They've also got some new music in the works. Keep an ear and eye out for the new single. New, the time had come, coming out December 8th. It will be new, and the time will come for it on December 8th. And then go check them out at Sub T, the Chicago Holiday Recital with Anything is Everything. Our dear, dear friend Tommy Kessler. Keep an ear out for a special episode with him coming out soon. And Superkick, that's going on December 14th. And you gotta be there. You gotta.
Or you'll be square.
Or you'll be square. Or you'll get a lump of coal for Christmas.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anything you do want to say before we get on out of here?
We're just happy that you guys had us on as guests. This has been an unreal time. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of cold snacks.
Yes.
And
That's why it's plural.
it's a great
Let's have one.
Actually, now that I think
Monday.
about it is cold snack on the can. I thought it was cold snacks. It's a cold snack.
It is a cold snack, but we have had cold snacks.
Yeah.
Plural.
We're snacking good.
Yeah. But it's a great way to kick off the Thanksgiving week.
Hell yeah.
Happy Turkey Day, everybody.
Happy Turkey Day.
Gobble, gobble. Well, with that, we're going to close out our episode, in fact, the way that we always do, which is to go around the horn in the same order that we introduced ourselves, get very, very close to the microphone, and say a very tender ASMR style goodbye to our audience. So I'll go first. Nay. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. See you guys later. Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh yeah.